Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're going to focus in and zoom in really on the effects of being in a relationship with a covert narcissist. An individual who seems originally very strong, very emotionally stable, very alluring, and very charming in a very quiet, demure manner. They can be very worldly, very suave, very sophisticated. And this can be the original attracting feature with a covert narcissist, in that they seem to be very quiet, very aloof, and can oftentimes be very easy to get along with because you can essentially be the leader in the relationship. You can be the one to direct a lot of the outings, the activities. You can have a take charge attitude with these people, but what ends up happening as the relationship evolves and things progress, because relationships do evolve. They are really, sometimes they will hit a plateau, but generally relationships are going to evolve or regress. And what ends up happening with the covert narcissist is they tend to become more into the aloof, more into the retreating, more into the regressive, and more into the sort of disappearing, and disappearing emotionally, if they're not only disappearing physically from the relationship. And this sort of invalidation is really one of the long-standing or chronic feelings of neglect and abuse that can come with a covert narcissist. And this can become not only invalidating, but it can become destructive as well. Because this individual, the target or supply, the individual who is in a relationship with them, will then begin to work double time to try to find out what is wrong or feel that something is wrong with them, and so that it'll cause them to over obligate and try too hard in the relationship. And as they try harder, they have more of an internal feeling of defeat and wondering what is missing from this relationship. And it's oftentimes due to the lack of emotional connection from this covert narcissist. By virtue of their lack of empathy, your words get oftentimes falling on deaf ears. It's kind of like in one ear and out the other with a covert narcissist. And really that's how oftentimes they deal with issues or problems. It's just really in one ear and out the other with them. And they might say, well, I don't really understand that. Why are you talking crazy like that? They'll tend to invalidate your feelings and make you feel like you're going crazy when in essence they're very valid. And I'd like to read there's a quote by a psychiatrist, Dr. Lang, and he says, when we invalidate people or deny their perceptions and personal experiences, we make mental invalids of them. And when one's feelings are denied, a person can be made to feel crazy, even when they are perfectly mentally healthy. So I think that's a very adept feeling, or adept description of creating kind of a mental invalid of those individuals who are in their environment. Because they are so disengaging, the covert narcissist will tend to manipulate and tend to also kind of occur or cause occurrences where other people have to then guess at how they're feeling, more than take care of them. It becomes really, it causes people to create a deficit in their own life purpose in order to help and maintain a sort of emotional balance or emotional energy or an emotional culture within the relationship. And this mental, a mental invalid is someone who basically, because it's like an emotional asphyxiation, where someone is so invalidated, they're ignored, they're not heard, they're not seeing. It's a very sort of what we call stonewalling or a silent treatment, oftentimes by these significant others who you're married to, or as a parent or as a boss, can be very destructive. So this feeling of being a mental invalid, I think, is a great way to express how these individuals hurt and destroy the inner core or the emotional bridge that really should be present in relationships. And furthermore, they also talk about the fundamental emotional needs. And I'm just going to review these here with you, and I think these will resonate with you. Our fundamental emotional needs are to be acknowledged, to be accepted, to be listened to be understood, to be loved, to be appreciated, to be respected, to be valued, to feel worthy, to be trusted, to feel capable and competent, and to feel clear and not confused, to be supported, and to be physically and emotionally safe. So the covert narcissist will really have a deficit in these areas. They will not give you that validation. See, it's really an abuse by deficit. It's more in what they withhold that the abuse is perpetuated. So really, oftentimes one is better off independent, autonomous, and then learning to not only satisfy these basic human needs within, but furthermore seek others who can then meet them in the middle, who can then provide the satisfaction of needs, to feel loved, to feel supported, to be acknowledged, to be respected, to be heard, to be validated, to be appreciated. These are natural human needs. This should go without saying. But in a culture or in a situation where you're dealing with covert narcissists, they realize this and they withhold it because they are invalidating people by the withholding. So this is a form of abuse that tends to cycle in people's mind and make them feel like they're too needy, like they're going crazy, like you don't get me, you don't understand. They're invalidating your statements, and don't pull this on us again. They'll make a lot of these excuses, or why are you still feeling this way? Because this hasn't been addressed yet. So if you're experiencing this, do not fall prey to the crazy making. Do not fall prey to the invalidation. Realize that oftentimes with the covert narcissist, they have an inability to really understand, discuss, and explore, invalidate your needs. Because of their pathological self-importance and because their lack of empathy, they don't have the ability to provide this foundation within the relationship. There is going to be a deficit. There is going to be a void. And it's something that you need to really address and validate within yourself and say, okay, I understand now that this is what has occurred. And then release the feelings of feeling the sort of pit of invalidation, and realize it was just at the hands of a covert narcissist, someone who has maybe a bit of a personality disorder, or at least a deficit or a dysfunction, or just call it basically not a good fit for you in your life. And that furthermore, surround yourself with others who can exist and live and relate to you on a more validating, positive note. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.